Hello, and welcome back. Oh, sorry, I dropped my mic here. Just some small adjustments here. Okay, we will be going back to once more checking out memory layouts and everything else. A bit more about Windows and Linux OS currently, so we can better understand that as well. To know, for example, if we can or cannot, if we should or should not access something, and if someday we start hacking, if we should try to get into some memory address and what we can do there, and also so we know where we can start. Again, as last time, I don't really know what I'm doing, so please forgive me if something is wrong. Other than that, I don't think anything will be lacking. Sorry, I don't add music to these videos because I don't like copyright, and most music will have it. Old music wouldn't, but I don't feel comfortable adding it yet. Yeah, we'll be adding it in the future. So okay, let's start this. Okay, here we will have the memory layout. Again, everything I see today will be in the Discord later for reference, and so that everyone gets their shout out for helping me on this quest, and also for producing this material that is open to anyone. This content might get removed in the future, but who knows, right? Okay, let's start with Windows, since this is a bit more memory. Windows is more used than anything else. So let's get this started. We open this image. Okay, here we have the kernel space that occupies 1 gigabyte usually. User code cannot read from nor write to these addresses. Doing so results in a segmentation fault. So kernel space is where everything that the kernel can do is stored. Some kernel code, I think, as well, and some other stuff. So we don't have access to that in user mode. But if you can find somehow to bypass the segmentation fault that would happen and access the kernel, you might be able to execute some functions that you shouldn't be able to. So let's check that, right? Okay, let me open draw.io here again. Okay, draw.io. Okay, create a new diagram. Blank one would do fine. Okay, rectangle. Big one. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Hello, Carbon. How are you? Happy you could make it once. What is the face about? Yeah. I don't really know what I'm talking about, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. And if you know better, please correct me. It would be appreciated. Always. Okay, let me check here. So we will need some lines here. Come on. Okay, let me add this here. This isn't right. Okay. Oh, come on. I don't think this does anything against Twitch's TOS yet, since I'm not properly hacking, just learning how to. And also memory layouts help a lot with programming, since you can harden your program. So yeah, who knows, right? Yeah, some text note here. Oh, come on. Click outside this. Okay. Kernel memory. If you have any suggestions of what I could do better on these streams, let me know as well. I am thinking of next week starting with assembly. so I can learn a bit of programming there. And after that, I should jump into C and start learning that by doing it, programming mostly. So I might need your help and some other people's help to get a uh, design going, a document, so I can start developing some tools for streamers and for myself as well. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, kernel memory. So random stack offset. Okay, we have a stack offset here so that a heap overflow doesn't cause a segmentation fault, I would guess, since the stack and the memory mapping here grow down. But if the heap breaks, it might go overboard, or if something tries to write in this area so it doesn't break the OS. Not really sure here. I will need to read this afterwards, but we will see. Okay, so here user cannot read. Okay, stack. We discussed this last week. Stack is where we will have post calls to functions and other data. No, data not. Data goes down here. There is some data here that for function calls, the addresses we have, and so on. A memory mapping segment, file mappings, including dynamic libraries. Yeah, so here we will have, for example, we use a libc.so library. It will be loaded here. So we can use it in our entire program. It shouldn't be bad, I hope. If I someday could write something into here without it being a dynamic library, but you shouldn't be able to. But I think this wouldn't break much. It's mostly where we need to analyze to get a ROP chain working, since this will have the most code. Since dynamic libraries usually are packets of codes that are more general and will have more code for us to explore. Okay, heap. The heap is used for something. I don't remember what right now. I really should get that XML or that picture I had last week. Let me see here. I have an HTML file here. Let me, come on, open it up. Okay, the heap, it has shared by all shared libraries and dynamically loaded modules. Yeah, so the heap contains some information about shared libraries and dynamically loaded modules. Here in the memory allocation we have here, it's mostly, I think, for Windows, so that most libraries don't need to be loaded. Dynamic memory, yeah, I am bad at this. Yeah, I am graduating in computer science, but I didn't learn much, so forgive me for that. Yeah, I think memory mapping segment here is mostly for file mappings, including dynamic libraries and anonymous mappings. So I think this is mostly for Windows to use to know where these files are, so they can be loaded. So yeah, it looks like the stack could overwrite this in a future, but this is the system stack, so it shouldn't be that bad. Also, the heap here is for the system, so also we shouldn't have control over nearly anything of this. BSS segment, as last time, the BSS is for initialized static variables or things with 0, so this should be okay. So it's mostly things that were initialized with 0, some static variables that we would never have access anyway because of the system, so on. Data segment where the initialized things are, and the text segment where we load all binary, the code mostly. So yeah, this is the memory mapping for Windows, or basically any system, modern system, I think, modern OS, because we have here the same, nearly the same thing for Linux. We don't have that memory mapping, this memory mapping segment here in the middle, but that would be added in the heap anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, let me come back here. I don't think I need to do anything here. Since it's the same as this one, I will just leave it like this. We just need to remember kernel comes above everything. Yeah, shouldn't be a problem. Okay, let's get to reading. Okay, I find many blogs and documents explaining process memory layout. All of them describe a memory layout of this kind. Okay, that image that we just saw. But when I look at VMMap tool in Windows, I find pages of stack, heap, etc. mixed up. For example, yeah, I think I have following questions. Can someone explain why are these images not coherent? Where am I going wrong? When I use virtual alloc X in VMMap, a region gets marked as private memory. Is it heap or stack or memory mapping segment? Okay, nominate for reopening is what the question is and what the answer is. The first answer is that the first diagram is simply not applicable to Windows, not even 23.1 and x86. It is not applicable to VMS either. It appears to be a variant of something that was probably drawn regarding Unix in the 1970s. Note that there is not even allowance for things like thread, local storage, or per thread stacks. Just ignore it and be amused that it's still being copied. Yeah, this is mostly so we have a idea of how things should look, but yeah, this shouldn't be actually how it works, because we have multiple threads, we have a lot of things that wouldn't even be here. The layout would be too big. Let me think here. VMMap. Oh, come on. Okay, for next time I will have, let me even download VMMap here. VMMap Windows Sys internals. Okay, let me download this really quick. Okay, open it up. Extract this. Extract all to VMMap. VMMap exe. Agree. Okay, here we can select anything, any process we want. For an example, let's select something that isn't crazy. This my stream timer here should be easier since it's a small program, but still it has a lot of things. So we have a lot of different things, different stack address, private data, thread stack, heap, shareable, heap, private data again, image, ASLR, okay, shareable, mapped file. Here we have the DLLs it's using, read-write area for private data. Yeah, so it's mostly up here we can see the committed. Everyone is here. Private data occupies a bit at the end, a lot, images, but it's all over the place. I think it depends mostly on load time, but I might be completely wrong here. It looks like it adds like it needs to between private data, heap, and let's see, 7640. Yeah, this is all heap. Then we get the A here, 7FFE0, FED0, 725, 73D0. Okay, this is growing up. This is growing up as well. I don't get it, but okay. It seems like both are growing in the same direction, but this might be virtual memory hopping into it. Since virtual memory can be mapped any way you want, both heap and stack could be growing towards each other, but not actually in memory. And this probably just shows how Windows sees it in memory directly without the virtual mapping and all the stuff. Yeah. So yeah, this is interesting. This is for a WPF, a Windows binary that is from the store. So it's interesting to see it loads so many files by itself already. Here at the bottom you have a lot of refactored type, system diagnostics process, and so on. That it rewrites. You see core messaging, Twin API, and so on. Not MSCTFUI here, but it's all ASLR, so we wouldn't know the exact address of anything here. Yeah, it's nice to see the memory all laid out for us. It's a nice tool to have. Okay, let's get back to that. Okay, so this doesn't represent actually how Windows works with virtual mapping and everything that is happening lately. It's way harder to determine a actual layout because of ASLR. We have memory being juggled around due to virtual memory and so on. But it's nice to have a simplified view just so we know basically where everything should be. Lower addresses. Oh, come on. Here up 0C000, down here is 0x08, so lower address, higher address, and so on. Basically this should be true still for software, for processes that are running on Windows, but except the memory mapping segment, those are included in the heap, I think, and we wouldn't have the kernel space, but yeah. Okay, for Linux we have the same layout, just the same as last time, just the kernel on top. Let me see, page tables. Okay, each process in multitasking OS runs in its own memory sandbox. This is a virtual address space, which in case of a 32-bit system is always a 4 GB block of memory addresses. Indeed, since the smallest units addressable by the CPU is 1 byte, 8 bits, it turns out that the 32-bit CPU is able to generate up to 2 to the 39 one numbers. In example, addresses, each one pointing to a specific byte in memory. Okay, these virtual addresses generated by the CPU are then mapped to real physical memory addresses by page tables, which are captured by the operating system kernel. Since the OS kernel is a process itself, it has a dedicated portion of the virtual address space. This is separated from the portion reserved for any other user's application process, not OS processes. For instance, the first 3 GB of virtual address from 0x0000 to 0xbffff can be used for user processes, while the last 1 GB of virtual addresses from 0xc000 to 0xfff are reserved to the OS kernel. Okay, so this basically means that virtual memory is always used by Linux and by Windows. Today we use tables who contain the virtual address and the real address in memory, so we can better find these things. But yeah, it's not hard. Had to mute for a bit. Yeah, no problem. I'm basically going over here what page tables are, virtual address spaces, and so on. Every OS today should use virtual addresses. So it's 4 GB in a 32-bit system, but it's dynamic, so we don't care. You could have 8 gigabits of RAM and run more than 2 processes. Hello, Eugen. How are you? And page tables are used to reference the virtual address you have in your program with the physical address, so the CPU doesn't get lost. This is a way better way to do it than use the physical 32-bit. Yeah, 32-bit is outdated already. I think there are still some Linux systems that use it, but I might be wrong here. I know Windows abandoned completely 32-bit. Ubuntu, yeah, Ubuntu might be using it. Yeah. So, let's see, virtual memory, paging and swapping. Oh, yeah, right. In Linux we have the swap area. That is a memory on the hard disk where you can put memory into if you need to. If you have not enough memory. Ubuntu actually dropped it. Oh, it dropped it. Nice. Good to know. Ubuntu is getting better, but Steam would no longer support it. Oh god. So they changed it. God. Always these things. Okay. So this one we talked about last week about what the text, data, and so on is. Text, bin, ls. Oh, binary image of the process. Okay. Forget about it. So the going back to swap area, it's a memory in your hard drive that is used to swap out the memory in your physical RAM to the hard drive and swap another page to it, so the processor can have more processes running without having to give up on everything when memory runs out. But I don't think much is used anymore. We have so much memory in RAM that it's kind of pointless. Windows has virtual pages as well that use the same thing, but they are not used as much anymore because you don't run anything with less than 4 gigabytes of memory anyway. So yeah, I don't think even the OS starts up with less than 4 gigabytes anyway anymore. Okay, so here we have the actual process Windows memory layout for a user kernel address space. This is complicated as hell. I don't even start to understand this. So we have eProcess, keyProcess, threadless head, eThread, keythread. Okay, this is too much. Structure contained within parent, structure point to by parent. Okay, hold the ARM modules. I don't understand anything here anyway. So this is the actual memory address if anyone is interested for Windows XP. It's really outdated already, but this should help a bit. So there are memory addresses here if you need to know them and so on. A lot of structures here that contain a lot of things for these TB and BB processes, I think, or sections they're called. Okay, so Windows XP, my daily driver. Well, I would say it depends much. XP is still used by a lot of people, mostly companies, because of software, and updating them is hard. So yeah, I don't really like XP as a way to keep working because of most major issues. There is that RDP issue that was discovered recently that just bypasses anything, any credential checking if you have RDP enabled. And since mostly companies use it, the RDP would be exposed. So, not sure that anyone should keep using XP. No, updating costs money. That's why. Yeah, it costs money and time is very precious to everybody. But yeah, since we finished this one early today, I will try to find now a assembly AMD AMD 64 assembly. Mostly AMD 64 instruction set. Okay, we will start with the Intel introduction today, and we will continue afterwards. Need some gain on volume, I think. Let me see here. Okay, let me here my filters. Reduce a bit of the suppression. Okay, is it better now? Which costs more money when breached and a lot more time. Yeah. It's fine. I have reduced a bit of the suppression just to check it. Yeah, no noise anyway. If anything is bad, let me know. I have a podcast I hear every week. Its name is Security Now. Let me show you it real quick here. Twit.tv. Let me find it here really quick. Come on, where is it? Security. Okay, here. It has 15 years. That's the stream. Yeah. Okay, here, this one, it is nice to hear. It talks mostly about what is happening in the week. Let me open this one, not hear it. We have the show notes from the show here, and also there is a transcript on the guy's site. So if you don't want to check it, there is that. Here we have everything what happened in the week. in a resumed fashion, so you don't need to read everything. Yeah, going back to the stream now. Let's start with this. Okay, there is a PDF for this. Let's see. Okay, introduction, architecture. Okay. Let me just post this on the Discord here really quick. Assembly introduction. Okay. If anyone of you want to check in the was planning to read just with the simmer. Yeah. It's nice to know what happens in the week of security because it can help you a lot. Analyzing hacks that happen makes you know much more about the world and how people can invade a system. So you should check that from time to time. I have it as a podcast since it's easier for me to just listen to it 2 hours while I commute, while I go to the gym and so on. So I don't have to stop my day to read everything. But as there are transcripts and also the show notes, you should be able to just catch up really quick. Here, let's start with this. For years, PC programmers used x86 assembly to write performance critical code. Yeah, blah blah blah. Prior knowledge of x86 code is needed, although it makes the transition easier. Yeah, as usual, knowing something is better than nothing. x64 is generic name for 64-bit extension to Intel and then these 32-bit x86 instruction set. The introduction, blah blah blah. Architecture. Since the 64-bit registers allow access for many sizes and locations, we define a byte as 8 bits and a word as 16 bits, a double word as 32 bits, a quad word as 64 bits, and a double quad word as 128 bits. Nice, at least the naming is consistent. Okay. Okay, Intel stores bytes little endian, meaning lower significant bytes are stored in lower memory addresses. Okay. Figure 1 shows 16. Okay, let me come here and open this image so I can see it better. Okay, we have here the registers. We have general purpose registers, RAX, RBX, RCX, RDX, RBP, RSI, RDI, RSP, R8, R9, R10, until R15. Another assembly introduction. Great. Yeah. If you know it already, good for you. I don't know it. They didn't teach me that in university. So yeah. 128 bits. Not in a million years the way we are going. It is available already. By the way, you may want to zoom in a bit. It's really small for us. It's small for me as well. Let me zoom in. Can you see it better now? It's a bit blurry, but you should be able to read it still. 128 bits is available in x64. It's just that it occupies multiple spaces in memory. So yeah. Yeah, this is fine. Great. Also 6 segment registers control status, debug, more. Okay. Aerospace stack 26 the part 64 minus 1. This is I understand now. Yeah. Instruction pointer, we have the RIP and the R flags. Return instruction pointer, we have RIP. Yeah, I know it has been available, but it's not really used much. Yeah, we should start using it. I think it would be better for everyone if we had more space. Yeah. Return instruction pointer, where this points we will go back when we hit a return in the code. Also 80-bit floating points and 64-bit MMX registers. Okay, MMX registers overlaid. Okay, and 128-bit XMM registers. Okay, here we could start as double quad word. Anyway, okay. Going back to this, the instruction pointer RP points to the next instruction to be executed. This part is 64-bit flat memory. Oh, okay. Actually, the RIP just points to the next instruction, not to the might be, but we won't really need it at the moment. Yeah, I don't think we will need it anyway with PCs we have. until we need like 64-bit, there isn't much pressure yet. Yeah, and I don't think there will be ever too much pressure. We are starting to get more and more into quantum computing. So if quantum computing becomes feasible in data centers, we might just abandon the whole desktop thing altogether and go all to the cloud and use quantum computing to do it better and faster. But yeah, a few years from now, anyway. Memory address layout in current operating system is covered later. Okay. Okay, here we have the common flags. The stack pointer RSP points to the last item pushed onto the stack, which grows towards lower addresses. The stack is used to store return addresses for subroutines, for passing parameters and higher level languages such as C and C++, and for storing shadow space covered in calling conventions. Can see that happening? I can't. Well, we have quantum processors already, and we have some algorithms already in quantum computing with a different purpose as of now. Yeah, but if you think about it, it's just maths anyway. Anything we see could be done with a normal PC, and we just set the heavy lifting over to a quantum computer to do. So we wouldn't really need anything. We would have some Chromebooks or something like that just to render the interface, and anything else could be done there if it requires that much processing. But yeah, it depends mostly on how we do this in the future. Okay, the RF flags registers are flags used for results for operations and for controlling the processor. This is formed from the x86 32-bit register EF flags by adding a higher 32-bit, which are reserved and currently unused. Yeah, so we have unused again. They don't need it, so they just added it there and leave it. Okay, most of the other flags are used for operating system level tasks and should always be set to the value previously read. Okay, CF, carry, operations generated a carry or borrow. Okay, parity, last byte has been number of ones, else zero. There's even number of ones. Yeah. AF, adjust, denotes binary coded decimal and byte carry. 0, result was 0. Sign, most significant bit of the result is 1. Okay. Overflow on signed operation. Direction string instruction operate, increment or decrement. Changeability denotes presence of CPU ID instruction. Okay. Precision, single precision, double precision, extended precision. 34 bits, 53 bits, and 64 bits. Decimal digits 7, 15, and 19. I think this is used for doubles and float. QP person would need a lot of work on error checking for that to work. Yeah, but the way it is, technology advances anyway for quantum computing. Who knows, right? Someday we could be living in a society controlled by AI for all we know, but until then, there's a lot to do. Okay, floating point types, yeah. I think 7 digits is a float, a double precision is a double, and extended precision is a long double, or something like that. The bigger one with more precision. That was also checked last week. So okay, MMX integer 8421 in items parallel. I really should read these things, right? Binary coded decimal is supported by a few 8-bit instructions, and an audible format supported on a floating point register gives an 80-bit 17-digit BCD type. The 16 128-bit XMM registers, 8 more than x86, are covered in more detail. Final registers include segment registers, blah blah blah. Full details are available in the 5 volumes of Intel 64 and i832 Architecture Software Developers Manual. Okay, let me open this. They're available for free download, order on CD, and often can be ordered for free as a hardcover set and list. Okay, so I'm here. Single instruction, multiple data. For myself, I can follow this, but new users won't be able to. Yeah, that is my worry mostly. I need to start reading this way more, or better, start understanding this before doing these streams. Yeah, basically, yeah, I will need to. Let's jump into C. I think C will be way. Not sure what your goal is besides the title. Yeah, I want to learn in a way that people can learn as well. So I think I will jump over to C for now and come back to assembly when we have a better understanding of programming. Maybe make a command for what you want to do for the day. Yeah, we'll do that later. Not sure I can map it out because today was just for memory addresses. I didn't have planned going to assembly. So yeah. Let me think here. Let's check. This is way too big. Okay, let me see. By the way, why don't we do the following? Us next week, we will be going anyway into C, as assembly is a bit over my head right now, and I will need more time to study it so I can explain it in a reasonable fashion so new users can understand it. What do you think about starting to plan out that software we were talking about a few weeks back? I think it was that bot for Discord and Twitch, and maybe some tools. What do you think? Yeah. Have you used Ball or anything on MyFrames? No, I didn't get that far. I am mostly a PC user, so nothing on MyFrames. I am very young. I'm 22 now, so I didn't see much of mainframes. Have that. I just don't have a place to host it at the moment. Yeah, the thing is, I want to make a open source version of it and develop it on stream so people can weigh in on what they need, what would be good to add, and so on. As too much features wouldn't be that bad, as I probably will have modules that you will be downloading and the software just executes what you want. And you could discard the rest, so it's not that heavy. And I also want to have a bit of distributed computing working on that, since hosting it would be not that great. Having a bot hosted anywhere, because most of your use of the bot is when you are streaming anyway, or in Discord when you are online, maybe a bit when you are not. So I was thinking of developing a bot that could be used to generate a command and control server that you deploy. We would deploy it on a cloud or something like that, and it would just register all messages that are from all servers whose bot is currently offline. And when your server comes online, it starts getting all messages from your server, so you don't have to worry about lag as the stream gets large enough for it to be used offline. Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, if it goes to be used offline, it's not that much traffic as online, so you wouldn't be worrying that much because most of the commands are mostly for online use anyway. So you could distribute it like having your bot active would try to process all the information on your channel and Discord, but when it's not in use, it would go to the command and control server and try to log all messages. It's not that too much data. Yeah, for you it's not that much data, but oh, not just your stream. Yeah, it wouldn't be that much data in size, but a lot of data to process, I think. But you could, for example, have a command and control server that receives all messages of all servers that are don't currently have a bot online and distributes it to all online servers so that you don't need to worry much about how it will work. You just set your bot online when you're streaming, and when you're not, every other person would process it when they got time. So when you're live, it is instant. You never have to worry. It will have a millisecond answer because it's just handling your stream. And when it has not done anything in the last few seconds, it will go out and catch anything from other servers to do. And then it will wait another second and do it again, or something like that. And when you are not using your bot, then others would process any messages that are offline when you are offline in the case. What do you think? Would that be a good approach, or do you think it would be too much overhead on other people's bots? Yeah, the speed of bots. Yikes. Yeah, that's why I want to create a system that even if the command and control server goes down, you have a backup bot on your server that the same code would just handle. For example, the command and control server goes down, distribution wouldn't be working, but if your bot is online, it would work, so you wouldn't have to worry. So a big streamer could just host their bot and be sure that they don't have to worry about their stream, but they are helping other streamers as well. So when their bot is inactive, uh, instead of just having time wasted there without using any resource, it would process other streamers' content. And if you're using a service like AWS or something that charges per processing, you could just add a config to disable that, and it wouldn't do it anymore. It would just handle your stream. Since it's on AWS, you just send a request to the command control server, and it ignores your chat at all. So if ever your bot goes down, you kind of get screwed over because you had to handle it. But if you are not helping anybody, why should anybody help you, right? Yeah, I should change the title for this. Let me just open a new here and go to Twitch. Come, let's make a TSD about this. So we don't have to just remember everything. I will post the TSD later on my Discord and on Twitter. Let me. It's not here. It's on dashboard. Come on, I really need to rename all of this. Talking about TSD development for Twitch/Discord bot. Open source. Okay, this should be it. Just updated the title. The biggest file for 85 megabytes. Begin logging at Friday, November 2018. It's on a huge channel, so about a year worth of chat. Yeah, my only issue is with processing time. I don't think files will ever be huge. That's why a command control server should be able to just take everything that comes in and just log it on a file in order, and everyone comes in. So let me open a. Come on, how do I do this? No, I should open VS Code. Actually, new window. Come on. Okay, new file. Let's start just an estimate. Yeah, I don't think it will ever reach something big. Command and control server should be fine hosting like 5,000 channels and just logging everything and then distributing it as it needs to. And if ever there comes the time to do anything that is too hard on the command control could be expanded and split onto multiple servers receiving different things, and all members of those servers access that command and control. So we could scale it up easily with one command and control structure. So okay, what do we need? C command and control server. Okay, let me add this. Come on. Distributed computing. Multiple servers being logged and instructions sent to members. Option to disable logging for a server. Okay, the actual bot. So the bot. I want a Twitch integration for sure, right? As much as I have done coding, I can't stand it. Well, actually, I love coding, so I think we have kind of a partnership going here. It would help. Anyone that is in chat, if you have any idea for a bot, let me even increase this. Yeah, now you can see it. If you have any idea for a bot for Discord, Twitch, and so on, that to help us out, what features you want, and so on, just post it in chat. I will be adding them here. So a Twitch integration, that would be mainly live notification, chat, interaction, custom. Chat integration would have custom commands, default commands. So you have that's what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Default commands, chat interaction would be custom commands, default commands, moderation. Moderation would be higher, but I think we could use maybe some tool for that. I would need to look into AI. I am horrible at that at the moment, but who knows, right? If we could do word moderation, so slurs and racist stuff could be excluded automatically. Links could be checked. For example, you have a whitelist of links that are allowed in chat, blacklist not allowed at all, and a normal list that gets locked for normal users until a moderator sees it. That could work, not sure. So we would need a dashboard in second phase, second iteration for users that aren't familiar with configurations, whitelist, blacklist, regulars. If yeah, whitelist, blacklist, regulars, zero role mapping. Okay, events, triggers, like when someone subscribes or when you hit the 1,000 subscriber or the 50th follow, so it lets everybody know in chat, or show something in OBS, logs it to a file so you can show it like, oh, you want to build a live counter for subs and followers, you could do that as well. Or if you hit affiliate in the middle of a stream, so everybody knows happens to X, happens to X. Yeah, then triggers X happens to Y. Okay, this would be a chat interaction. So we would have a Discord integration, mostly for basically same as Twitch, and some other stuff like this, like a ticker, kind of, but not really. It's mostly like to be something like a how can I say this? Custom bot like Muxy or ME6 that we will build on these streams from now on, since I will be starting to work with C next stream. And this should help me have some TSD, some technical details, what should be done, and what features we expect of it. Same as Twitch, posting automated messages, timers, Discord, Twitch roles, subs, etc., announcements, commands that work on both, yeah. User role mapping from Twitch to Discord and so on, posting automated messages, timers on both as well. Yeah, posting automated messages. For example, user joins the channel or something. Let me add this up here. Timers. Yeah, user mapping. What else would we need? I know a bunch of people use Patreon. Patreon is user mapping. I don't know if you would want timers though. Timers is mostly for Twitch, but they should be configurable for Discord as well. A bit too spammy. It depends, because the timer is defined by you. You could, for an example, have a timer go every 24 hours, or like remind people when a milestone is hit, a year of channel or something like that. It would be mostly date related. Add everyone tag on all commands. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Tagging. Oh, let me add this on Twitch. Tagging. Okay. User mapping from Patreon. Thing, not bot thing. Yeah. The Discord is. I saw ME6 has timers you could enable. It's mostly to remind people of stuff, and probably any definite channel you would choose for the bot to do stuff. On Discord, I remember it now. Channel for commands. Set channels that accept commands. So using VB for notes. Yeah, I don't use Word at all. I will pass this later on. I use Google Docs and I don't want to send it over there. Hey Kai, hop out here as well. We are building a TSD, a technical document. So we have instructions. Word, I don't have Word. I don't bought it and I don't want to do piracy. I just use Google Docs and I don't want to leak anything. So for now it will be this. Next stream I should have something better if we add stuff here. I just want to have a bit better understanding of stuff. And I use this mostly. I am very used to VS Code anyway. So yeah. Don't ever mention Word to me again. What do you mean? Yeah, I don't like Microsoft Word. It's a good thing, but yeah, too pricey. Does the same as Google Docs, and yeah, so on. User mapping, notifications, special content? Question mark. Word is crap. Did everyone tag actually tag everyone on chat? Did not know. Yeah, I think so. It got highlighted. For me here, it got bolded only. So role everyone gets, so yeah, you can mute it. Yeah, sure. User mapping notifications, special content for Patreon. Word on my 9-year-old laptop before it went to subscription. Well, yeah, I actually have Word, but not because I own it, because the company I work for bought the subscription from Microsoft. I mean, here on Twitch chat. No, not on Twitch. Oh, on Twitch. I saw it got bolded only for me, so it gets a bit highlighted, but it shouldn't spam everyone with a big notification. So yeah, Patreon. I know I like to have Twitter integration. So recent tweets, cross posting on events. No, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? Stop spamming symbols. Moderator. Stop spamming symbols. Oh, come on, Nightbot. Let me just open it here. Let me go to Nightbot. Nightbot, you are being bad. You are getting disabled. Sorry about that. The spam filters are, I think, on default. Access emotes, disable. Come on, disable links. Link filters are on. Access symbols, come on. No one cares. Blacklist word phrases, excess caps. Let me go caps as well. You should be back. The bot hates those companies as much as I do. Yeah. Sweet. He stole my. Okay. Okay. Going back to this cross posting on events for Twitter, so we can tweet out when we go live. Fault is harsh. Yeah, I need to really get into this. Probably will do a better job with this one, with the defaults being way more lax, depending on amount of viewers. Oh, talking about that, viewer-based moderation. Because when you have like 4 viewers like I have now, you shouldn't be caring about too much emotes and so on, or you can even set Patreon. Yeah, I'm just adding this because I don't know how to write Patreon. Yeah, I don't know how to write this. I don't use it, so yeah, I don't know how to write all of this stuff. Yeah, user mapping notifications, special content, Twitter integration, recent tweets, cross posting on events. Anything else you guys see that is needed? Like Facebook integration, I don't feel like adding. I hate Facebook's API. It's horrible. I can't even read that properly, but it could be something people are interested in. Not sure. Oh yeah, YouTube integration. Come here. YouTube integration. Send stream after finishing. Is it possible to automate? Facebook to private for this. I think. Yeah. Needs to die anyway. Yeah. Facebook. I hate Facebook. I haven't used it in years. FTTT could help. Yeah. Everybody could help. A lot of services just need. Oh, you are making your own. Never mind. Yeah, I will make my own and probably make it better than everything else. I hope. I want to have my own APIs done directly in C, so it's way faster than anything else out there. It will take a lot of time to do properly, but yeah. So, hacking streams are dying now. Probably I will be doing development streams. Seems to be way better handled than anything else. Yeah. Send stream after finishing. Post. Stories. I don't know how this is called in YouTube, but yeah. Stories in YouTube about streams. Other content. At a point for security, if not done yet. Yeah, security is where I will build this thing up. Security is my main focus. I like InfoSec a lot. I am thinking even about having a dedicated bot that will be hosted with the command and control server, and its key will be sent using a certificate generated at the time, so nobody can steal it. The private key will be used just to decrypt that and be discarded, so nobody can obtain it anyway. Uh, I will need to check that as well. But yeah, post stories in YouTube about streams and other content. Paid YouTube Red. I don't know if this is called YouTube Red. No one needs that. What do you mean? The stories thing? Yeah, I'm just adding that here. Not for a long time. YouTube Red. I don't know if anyone uses this. That YouTube Red thing. Can you sync it? Security. Oh, security. Oh yeah, nobody needs security anyway. What do you expect? Privacy somewhere? But yeah, YouTube Red, I think, is something I would be interested. Premium now. Oh, premium. Yeah. Can you give out YouTube Premium? Just so I know, I'm not a member of that. I don't even know how it works. Because if you could give out YouTube Premium, we could sync it with yeah, sync to roll. I have the premium because we have Google Music sub. Oh yeah. Do you know how it works? Good call on the name change. Yeah, really good. Not sure, haven't checked it out yet. Kai, you that have the service, how does it work exactly? It's just another section for people to view videos or something like that? Because if we could just know, like, oh, someone is on Patreon, we will give them automatically a YouTube Premium subscription for your channel. That would be awesome because then you could just sync your patrons that paid you through there to your YouTube Premium for higher amounts of money that they gave, assuming most of it is locked off. Yeah, yeah, I think so as well. But we'll see. Development shouldn't be that bad for anything like this. Any other service you guys think should be added? Let me think. Any other streaming platform will be added in the future? Well, yeah, no problem. I was just wondering if you knew anything. If not, it's okay. We will check it out in the future. By the way, I just remember something. SQL integration. Aha, this will be nice. Turnover concerns? I don't know anything about this law. Turnover concerns. Yeah, I don't know. But we'll see. Go over the list again. Okay, going over everything. So we will have a command and control server. With distributed computing, we will be sending everyone's server to a command and control server, so it captures everything you are sending. Then your bot that is online and not it doesn't have anything to do right now goes to that list, takes the first item off of it, processes it, and responds to the server, and the server responds on the chat. So you don't have to worry anything about having anything wrong happen. Song request, okay, I don't use it, but sure. Let me add it here on Twitch. Song request. Using SoundCloud / YouTube / own library. Okay, or rather media request. Yeah, media request. Okay, let's go up. Media request auto moderation. Okay, can go all in with TTS and media in that case too. Emotes. Yeah. What do you mean with TTS? Right now I am just lost on these abbreviations. Emotes. Emotes are something done by Twitch and Discord separately, so I wouldn't have any control over it. We could have a custom system like BetterTTV or Frank or Z, something there that I know exists, but I don't think we should add them by default. The platform should be processing them, not us. Let me see, option to disable login for a server. So if you have your own server uh, dedicated to your Discord channel, you could disable ours, but that means you wouldn't get any help if your server goes down. So if you leave it enabled, whenever your server goes down, within 10 seconds of it, our command and control server would take over and just let everybody on the network handle your traffic. So now we go to the bot. We will have a tool section later on. Not sure when that will happen, guys. I am not that good a programmer to tell you, oh, this will all be done in a year or something. No. Probably this will be iterative development and very, very slowly. Load balancing. Yeah, that is the distributed computing. We will just have a list with all commands. When your server is idle, when your bot is idle, it goes there, takes it, processes it, and sends it back. And queues. By queues, what kinds of queues do you mean? Oh, remembered something? Polling. Polling is something most people use. Also, giveaways. I know this isn't the best thing of all times, but I mostly don't use it. Or does it get lost? Well, the server logs every message on a file, and it will pop off the first, so it will have a stack, a queue by itself. Looks like YouTube gives per channel information, not user information, so might not be able to tell if they have it. Well, if they connect their user account to the bot, because the bot will do all the integrations, not the services by themselves. So I would take, for an example, my YouTube account. I would log into the bot's site or command and control server or something like that, and just get the information for that user's API request stuff. And so I can get, for example, if the what channels that user has YouTube Premium and so on. So we will see. If it's not possible, then what the hell? We can just do notifications and stuff like that. Okay, so disable logging for a server. If you don't want to help anybody with your bot that is on a AWS cloud, just okay, we won't help you, but it will be working. Twitch integration. Twitch integrations we want. Live notification. So when we go live, we want to notify everybody. So maybe create email lists if people want to add their email. Email lists. So this is a large project. Yeah, it won't be small. It is supposed to be an open source project, so everybody could help. And I think Carbon has some code already available. If he wants to share, it's with him. But if he shares, this will be way smaller to do. But we will see. Most of it in C. I hope all of it in C. If I can't do I think maybe the interface will be done with HTML, CSS, and JS. Where do you upload it? Git? Yeah, I will create a GitHub for the channel and upload it there. Probably I am thinking maybe changing to Bitbucket, but I will need to check with everybody what they think. Yeah, Git is my option always for sending out code. So live notification, email list, push if an app is made, API. So we could create an API. We actually didn't do most of it in C, but it's not hard. Translation, yeah, your code would help a lot because we could just analyze what you did already and not think much about it, just translate the code. So yeah, an API that would let people know, like a push notification API or something like that. An API you connect to, it keeps the connection open and sends it down when it needs to. So the chat interaction bot by itself. What protocols do you tend to use on API? Well, I'm looking at YouTube right now and I didn't know channel memberships existed. Yeah, channel memberships are a thing now. Protocols for the API. It's mostly JSON responses, so probably just HTTP. HTTPS actually. HTTP and HTTPS. Probably deprecate HTTP and not even do it, but we will see if it is required. Since it's just data, I feel like it should be there. It's just data being sent from something that is public, but yeah, we can check that out. So we would have custom commands. Well, yeah, custom commands that you defined, like my uptime, tweet, and so forth. Say Firefox here. Yeah, HTTP is being blocked everywhere, but I feel like at least HTTP has its place still. Even if HTTPS is a thing, HTTP should be used for content that is public and that doesn't matter. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see if I will do that or something like that. Yeah, we'll see. HTTPS for sure for the start. HTTP if I ever feel like it to have a smaller footprint for some servers, local testing, etc. It works great. Yeah, always. Custom commands. So my tweet command would be there. We could integrate it with external services and APIs. Just anything that doesn't store data. Yeah. If it's public already, why not? Like you're reading a blog, just reading it, not sending anything, you should use HTTP. I don't care if someone sees it. Not like they couldn't see it anyway. But yeah, let's go back to this. The custom commands like tweet, uptime, so on, with custom APIs that you can build. Like you could just take an API for a service you use. Let's say a new service pops up that everybody's using and you have a lot of data there and you want to import that data. So that should be made available. Custom API usage and parameter mapping. Okay, the default commands, usual commands that we will have. This will be need to define. I will ask everybody to leave their suggestions later in the Discord, so this doesn't get too cluttered right now, and I add it later. Moderation tools, like disable links, enable links, blacklist words / phrases, disable all caps, and so on. All caps, and then we see a dashboard, friendly user interface. Probably the user interface I will do in some other language, and it will just generate the JSON for you. You import your JSON and it stores your JSON in the same location, but it doesn't actually need to be there for the program to run. Whitelist and blacklist users, user whitelist, user words, promotions, links, and so on. Same thing with blacklisting, regulars. Regulars I feel like should be in user role mapping. Regulars, subs, VIP, etc. Sub tiers as well. Event triggers, when X happens, do Y. Phrases, come on, I don't know how to type, do I? Phrases. Yeah, I don't need to. I don't. Oh, Zolga. Well, Zolga. Okay. Timers. So you can, for example, set your Twitch chat, your bot to advertise something from yourself in your chat, or remind people of something every time, or set dates, special dates like birthday of the channel, milestones that were hit that you want to remember, or some things like that. Tagging, tagging users, tagging, doing custom tagging. For example, when you add something there, for example, at everyone, so they can be tagged and so on. Mostly this is for Discord, where tagging works best. Timers based on time and text line. Yeah, time, text line, countdowns. Okay. Viewer based moderation. So moderation based on amount of viewers. So you could, let me pull this up into the moderation section. Okay. Viewer based moderation. Moderation based on amount of viewers. Custom enable filters based on information received from API. Okay, let's see. Media request using SoundCloud, YouTube, and your own library. So this one, I am thinking like you have a folder, the software will just map it all out into a file and have that file available for people to look at. When people look at it, they can request any song from that list, so that channels that are very worried about copyright can have their own lists of songs that can be requested. Moderators managing any of this. Well, moderators managing this, I think isn't a maybe some things they could manage, but that would be needed to be defined. Since I don't feel like moderators should have access to, they should moderate chat, not moderate the tool. The tool is automated, an automated way for you to make their work easier, their job easier, not for them to mess with. Filters, changing commands, etc. Yeah, we can enable that here in custom commands. Change commands based on chat input and user role. Okay. Okay, this could be done. The bot would just change the file configuration file so it is persistent and keep on going. Okay, yeah, that I agree with you. It's thought, it's a common thing nowadays. Yeah, I don't feel like filters as well. Let me allow change of filters in chat. Okay, so it would just be a flag. Just I need to know later what will be persistent and what will not be persistent. They should moderate, not change channels. Yeah, so I think filters, they can whitelist. They should be able to whitelist people from a filter for a determined amount of time. but not be able to disable a filter. They can change a command, but depends on the command they will be changing and what they can change. For example, they can add text, remove text, can they overwrite it, or just add to it, or something like that. But we will see. Okay, we're down here. Media request auto moderation. So for example, you could check. I don't know how the content system works for YouTube and so on. Maybe have a list of things with copyright that were claimed. For example, your channel got a copyright claim because of a song request. You could just add that song to a list and it wouldn't be allowed anywhere else. You just need to provide both and so I would check it, add it to the code. Also, for example, troll videos with 0 likes, 0 views, and so on wouldn't be allowed, and so on. Polling, don't know, never checked YouTube much as far as that goes. Yeah, I would like to know if I could use the content system to know if someone owns a bit of that song that I am not allowed to use. So we could just use their platform to run a video through it. Check like, oh, does this video have copyrighted songs in it? So they would just say, oh yeah, it has, their copyright is valid and you can use it. Or they use Creative Commons, or we can have lists like copyright-free songs that aren't actually copyright-free, just open copyright. Wonder how much delay that would give. Yeah, not sure, but song request isn't something you would actually need that much of an instant response. Because if it takes like 30 seconds to respond, who cares? There is a song playing anyway. But yeah, and that should discourage users from just going there and spamming songs and then leaving your chat. Giveaways and polling, I feel like are things we should add. Giveaways, so you could just randomize something, give away a game or a role or a sub, or do something like that if someone wants to. And polling for your games, I would love to add a tool later on to make polling even better. Like I have installed on this computer a tool called ShareX. If I could do the same thing, like just control print screen, I take a picture of what people are polling for, or type some text in and it shows up on the screen what it is, that would be awesome. So we could like have tiny images without people needing to actually make a lot of things around it. And you could just like have it paste it in a file. ShareX is pretty open. I'm sure you could. Yeah, I think we could just integrate their tool actually, since they're that open. You take the 4 pictures, it sideloads them to a polling folder. When the polling ends, when you click reset, it just deletes everything in that folder and you're good again. So Discord integration, basically the same as Twitch, except the media request and some other stuff that are live only features. Maybe even have a song request channel inside Discord where requested songs are playing constantly. So let's say I want to tap in to Carbon's list of songs. That would be pretty nice. Like, oh, I just pop in and I hear your songs and I know you moderate them pretty well. So I don't need to care about it, and we talked before and I'm allowed to use them. So yeah, it would be nice to be able to just set like a voice channel and play audio there. And record voice channel. Oh, let me add this. Record voice channel. Voice channel. Channel auto. Yeah, moderation is already a thing. Posting automated messages like, oh, you're going live. We reached 50 subs on. We reached 50 followers on Twitch. you reached 1,000 followers on Twitter, and so on. The same thing as up here with the event triggers, X happens to Y, and so on. For Patreon, user mapping like a specific role in Discord and Twitch for people that are joining through Patreon. Notifications, so yeah, you get a notification, or even give Twitch sub through Patreon. I know it is possible to give subs on Twitch, so that would be nice. You would give people, come on, I don't know how to type anymore. Twitch sub through Patreon. So someone that is going through Patreon pays you like $5 for your mid-tier Patreon thing. They get a sub on Twitch automatically if you want, and you can set that. Notifications from Patreon as well in a specific channel just for Patreon users. Special content, for example, the bot allows special commands for people from Patreon that have Patreon, or allows some post some links there whenever you go live a bit earlier if you decide so, or they get a special chat for every stream, like it opens that channel just when it hides the channel when you're not live, and then shows it to all patrons when it goes live. That would require us to build a custom. I don't know if it has an open API. Let me check real quick, actually. Okay, this one. Patreon API. It seems it has. Yeah, it has an API. API libraries, Python, blah blah blah. Clients and API keys, OAuth, third-party libraries, OAuth resource endpoints. Here, we can get identity, campaigns. We can do stuff based on campaigns. Sorry, I didn't interact much, but I still had fun seeing the planning process to go now, but good luck. Yeah, thank you for showing up, Kai. If you have any idea for us that you see you would like on your streams to be available, let us know. I will have a dedicated channel to this planning on the Discord, so feel free to post anything there. Yeah, we have campaigns, members, and so on, so we can list the tier, list a lot of things, currently entitled amount in cents, status, and so on. We can even see if they paid the last charge, so that would be nice. We have a lot of API endpoints here we could use. Yeah, we can check the current user, check fetch creator profile and campaign info. That would be nice. Oh, let me go back here. Campaign based messages. Okay. We could use Patreon integration to, for example, you launch a new campaign, they get automatically added into your Discord and your live chat and Twitter. Cross-posting on events, same thing as earlier, recent tweets, import them into Discord, Patreon, and so on. YouTube integration, if this is possible. Check availability. Availability. Okay, I think it's like this. We will see if we can sync roles here. SQRL, let me show you really quick here. SQRL authentication. Okay, there is this software here that has been launched. I like it a lot because it's secure, quick, reliable login. Sorry about that. Let me drink a bit of water. Squirrel. Yeah, squirrel. We can check this out. There is a C program already available for this, and the implementation of this is really nice. For example, I want to authenticate to the dashboard. We could use this for the command and control server. So we just have stored public keys instead of private of passwords. So nobody can, even if we say leak the whole database with everything there, we shouldn't have any problems, because the only things there would be uh, the username, the tokens, the temporary tokens we use, uh, for, because I would think we should request them, have them or client side, or when it is server side we should have them encrypted and use like a temp token or something like that, that like, oh, it leaked in 24 hours, it's fixed, we don't need to worry about that. If anybody leaks anything, it might happen, you never know. But yeah, other than that, let me think. Yeah, what would I say now? Okay, it was, yeah, we could use this, just have the public keys there, and everybody could log in without problem. Also, I forgot, come on, I need to learn where to click. Yeah, up here, dash server side configuration. So the local client configuration would be available at all time for you, but the server side configuration would be nice. Your local client would upload it every time it logs in, so the server stays up to date with your latest changes. And if you change, your computer catches on fire, it breaks, or something like that, you can just give up on everything, move to another computer, and everything will be there as you wanted it. This is basically a sync, and since it's just a small text file, it shouldn't matter that much. Even with 5,000 servers, it should occupy what? About gigabyte, maybe, of storage? It's not that much. Okay, so Squirrel integration for dash online dashboard login. Okay. Also, one thing I think would be nice up here is a timestamped configuration, so you could have your local config be synced all the time and not care about it. Okay, let me come here. TSD Discord stream bot. Okay, saved. Okay, that should be it for today. Thanks for everyone for coming by. If you have any other ideas, let me know. There will be a exclusive channel on Discord, on my Discord for this. If you feel like it, you can link my Discord on yours. Also, if you just want the TSP on your Discord, it's okay as well. You can just copy that. Anything on my Discord server is public, so you can copy it as you want. No need to ask me. So yeah, thank you everybody for passing by, and yeah, that should be it for me today. Have a good day everyone, and